Hey guys, this is Frozen 2 Fanboy 2004 here, and welcome back to another video. And this is a video that I've been planning for a very long time, like probably a couple of weeks after I started making videos, or maybe a month, I guess. But yeah, this video we're talking the MCU because I still love the MCU nonetheless. It's probably neck to neck with Bond. That's my second favorite franchise. Frozen will always be my favorite franchise, but either MCU or Bond could be a second. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna think about it. Maybe that would depend on how Thunderbolts and Avengers: Secret Wars would go. But yeah, what's this video all about? You may ask. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about the MCU Phase 4. I'm sure you know by now how much people have hated this phase. Minus Spider-Man No Way Home and some of the Marvel shows, this phase has gotten so much hate, so much backlash. Yeah, everyone hated the phase, and everyone calls it the worst MCU phase ever. And people just say that the MCU is starting to fail, and that they're literally saying that DC is better than Marvel now, which I guess this year and it makes sense because of the Batman. But but honestly, to me, I still have faith in the MCU. I guess so. Yeah, I guess you could say that maybe they were just brainwashed by Martin Scorsese's saying that Marvel is not cinema. But honestly, that's a stupid statement. I still hate what Martin Scorsese did there. But in this video, I'm defending the MCU Phase 4, or like what the haters like to call it, the MCU. Um, yeah, I think this hate has gotten way too toxic. Yeah, Marvel fanboys have become so immature at this point. Like really, I am a Marvel fanboy. Like I think it's noticed, but to be fair, I do think the Things fans can be a little immature at times. But we'll get to that at another time. But yeah, Marvel fanboys have just the fandom has just become toxic. Like seriously, what's up with these big movies having toxic franchises? Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Stranger Things fans, like I said, maybe sometimes, but yeah, I'm just really annoyed with this hate. I mean, if you if you don't like the MCU Phase 4, then that's fine, I guess. I mean, not all of the Phase 4 films are good. I mean, Miss Marvel was probably the first one to disappoint. Even though it's not bad, the She-Hulk is an abomination. I agree, it's quite possibly the worst thing that the MCU has ever done. But I mean, they've also made some amazing films. I mean, that I think are underrated. But yeah, and even like I really like the idea of having MCU shows. I think they're like have it just make them feel longer, like like 3 to 4 hours, like longer than Endgame. And yeah, I mean, maybe I gave them to overpraise, saying that they're better than the movies. No, they're definitely not better than the movies. But yeah, now let's talk about exactly why I love MCU Phase 4 and why I think never mind. I'll talk about it later. But yeah, why I love MCU Phase 4. First and foremost, I love that this phase has more female characters than I mean, and I think this phase gave me like some of my favorite MCU characters. I mean, America Chavez, Kate Bishop, Yelena, Sharon Carter, Cersei, and a bunch more. I think there are others, like I just can't remember. Oh, Kate, Miss Marvel is one of them. Even though like always, I'm not a fan of the show. I mean, I love Miss Marvel. She's probably like maybe in my honorable mentions, I guess. There's just so many great female characters. Like I look up to, and they're not Mary Sue's at least. At least, I mean, sure we, at least sure yeah. For every of these female characters, we got one terrible, which is She-Hulk. Arguably the worst MCU character in my opinion. But yeah, I can't wait to rant on She-Hulk. But yeah, I mean, we also got some great male characters too, like Shang-Chi and Moon Knight. But I think America Chavez is my favorite MCU hero. Like, I can't wait to see the future of her, and I think she could lead the Young Avengers. Like, Young Avengers is probably my real most anticipated MCU project, honestly. Yeah, I mean, Avengers Secret Wars may be my most anticipated MCU film, but Young Avengers is my true most anticipated, even though that hasn't really been confirmed yet. I mean, I just because I honestly really like the young superheroes, MCU heroes, and seeing like their generation. And yeah, I think America Chavez could lead that. Yeah, I hope the Young Avengers movie actually happens. But anyway, yeah, I think most of these MCU films get way too much hate. You know, the overhated ones. Though I'll try to name every single MCU project I think is overhated. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Eternals, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, and I guess you could say Moon Knight. And oh yeah, What If is also I think What If is also overhated. Even though What If is not one of my favorites, I think it is overhated. Yeah, I mean these ones I just don't get understand the hate for it. I mean, sure, yeah, What If has some really bland episodes like What If Thor was an only child. That episode was garbage, and the Captain Carter one was kind of a little bit of wasted potential due to how like it just copies the first Avenger without actually trying to be its own, without barely trying to be its own thing. But yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, at least there's actually one. There are actually some MCU projects that are widely loved by people, like Spider-Man: No Way Home. For example, yeah, a lot of people love Spider-Man: No Way Home, and they consider it to be one of the best MCU films. Some even consider it as the best MCU film, like me, and I think it is deserved. Yeah, Spider-Man: No Way Home for now is the best MCU film, but I do think Avengers Secret Wars will most likely top it, and Thunderbolts does have a chance of topping it. Maybe it depends on this one character named Songbird if she appears, because I'm already a fan of Songbird from the comics, and her she's gonna be played by one of probably the greatest actresses facing. It's just a rumor, but I hope it comes true. If Stacey doesn't happen, then it won't beat the No Way Home for sure. And I also adore Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. It's probably my favorite superhero film of the year so far. I'm probably the only one who thinks it's better than the Batman. But yeah, I don't understand the hate for Multiverse of Madness. Sure, it could have been longer, but I think the movie is perfect. It's just everything that I wanted to be. It's a perfect Sam Raimi movie. It's a perfect horror movie, and like I said, that movie introduced my favorite character, America Chavez. Yeah, but yeah, also Moon Knight is also WandaVision and Loki are two MCU shows that many people love. To be honest, I think Loki is kind of overpraised, but I mean, I think the best Loki is pretty much the Stranger Things season one of the MCU. Like, sure, it's a great show. I kind of love it, but when people say it's the best MCU show, that's when it gets overpraised because I don't think it's the best MCU show at all. Yeah, it's just that it's just one that I wouldn't rewatch, and I just don't like. I don't like the finale. Sorry, guys. I think I don't like this Kang the Conqueror. I mean, many people are saying Kang is going to be the best MCU villain. Well, but speaking of that, yeah, that's another thing I love about Phase Four. They introduced the best MCU villain, which is a Scarlet Witch from Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness. She made me love Scarlet Witch even more than I originally did. But yeah, back to what I was saying. Yeah, people. I do think Kang the Conqueror might be better. In Quantum Mania, and especially Avengers, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. But Loki's I don't like Loki's kind of conqueror. He should have been a big threat. Like he's caused some things that are like so big, like big threats. But then when you actually meet him, he just didn't really subvert my expectations. Like I was expecting to be a big, but what I got was just such a jokey and comedic MCU villain, which that's why he was so underwhelming. But he better not be the same Kang as he in Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. I mean, I trust that the Kang Dynasty would make him like a bigger threat. And I mean, I thought I was gonna hate Kang. Like I was like, oh god, why is he gonna be the big bad of the whole this new MCU era called the multiverse saga. But then I learned that this is just the comedic variant of kind of culture. So I kind of get it now that I still don't like the Loki. I still didn't like how they handle Loki's character. And WandaVision is also another fan favorite MCU show. And while I wouldn't go as far as calling it the best MCU show, it's still a very great show. I still give the show a 10 out of 10. Even though episode 4 of that show was not very good, but yeah, WandaVision is great and pretty much a perfect example of a girl power show. Yeah, not Miss Marvel and not Miss Marvel and I mean, even though I won't go be harsh on Miss Marvel like that, it's not the girl power's fault. It's the writing's fault. But yeah, I meant to say She-Hulk. Yeah, take note, She-Hulk. One Division is how you do a proper girl power TV MCU series. And speaking of proper girl power series, I want to talk about Hawkeye because as of now, I think Hawkeye is the best MCU project in my opinion. It's not the best, but I won't say the best, but maybe it's my favorite MCU project ever. Kate Bishop and is technically with America Chavez is my favorite MCU hero. Yeah, I think yeah, I've always been excited for Kate Bishop ever since the announcement of Haley Steinfeld coming to the MCU, and she did not disappoint me whatsoever. Yeah, I can't decide if Hawkeye is a show that people hate or people like. I would say maybe right down the middle, but I'm just not sure. But yeah, Hawkeye is just such a brilliant show. And Kate Bishop is everything. Yeah, like I said, Kate Bishop. That's another good strong female character that She-Hulk should have taken down notes of. Yeah, she actually treats she doesn't try to be better than Hawkeye. In fact, actually, I do think She-Hulk is thinking about it. I do think She-Hulk is actually like Hawkeye, but done wrong. She-Hulk character is basically Kate Bishop, but what Kate Bishop isn't. But yeah, but yeah, see what I mean there. And also Shang-Chi. I would talk about Shang-Chi for a bit. Yeah, Shang-Chi. I'm not sure if I would say people like it. I mean, I'm glad that it did get good reviews, but like no one talks about Shang-Chi anymore. No one gives Shang-Chi enough credit. Like people just seem to forgot about like how good Shang-Chi is, and some people are saying it's bland. So yeah, it's bland and yeah all that stuff. But I think Shang-Chi works because it has such a perfect Asian representation and stuff. Now yes, I overpraised Shang-Chi when it came in theaters, and I don't think it's as good as Black Panther when I said it was better than Black Panther at the time. But yeah, just what I say. Shang-Chi, as an Asian myself, I think they did a perfect job of capturing the Asian representation. But yeah, people just don't give it enough credit. It's not hated, but again, Shang-Chi is not hated, but it just doesn't get enough credit. It's pretty underappreciated now. And and yeah, we actually do have one more MCU project to go, and that is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Oh yeah, another show that I want to talk about is the Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, that show gets way too much hate, and I mean way too much hate. Like, I think I would say Falcon and the Winter Soldier is the most overly hated MCU project. I do not get it. Like it has more hate than likes. Like some people would say it's the worst MCU show. Like, have you seen She-Hulk? Have you seen Iron Groot? Like, those are the worst MCU project. Like, Falcon and Winter Soldier is excellent. It is brilliant. It subverts my expectations, and it has the most underrated MCU villain, Carly. Yeah, I do not get the hate for Carly. I think she's an excellent villain, like a very clear motivation, and I like that she's actually a different kind of villain because she's not an overpowered MCU villain. She's actually a teenager, a regular teenager who just wants to do things because the way she wants, and she's just a sympathetic regular teenager, and that's what I really like about Carly. Yeah, and but yeah, besides that, like back to what I was saying, we got one more MCU project to go, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Now, I got a feeling this may divide MCU fans, like because a lot of people are complaining that this movie is gonna disrespect and then disrespect Chadwick Boseman, and that this movie never should have been made. And there's a side of people like me who are saying this movie is going to be amazing and could how do I say this, could respect Chadwick. I can already see it being divisive. I think this might be the last Jedi of the MCU. Like the critics rave about it, but the audience is like give it a kind of a low rating. Like Hopefully not last year low with like 43%. That's way too low. Um, but yeah, I hope Black Panther Wakanda Forever will be amazing, and yeah, it's gonna end Phase 4 really well, and the start of Phase 5 is coming. Phase 5 and 6 coming. I hope that MCU's Phase 5 and 6 will impress the haters of Phase 4, and we'll say that Marvel is improving, and I don't want the MCU to be hated forever. Like, what happened to the people like fanboy every single MCU film, almost every single MCU film that has come out. What happened to that? Like, now we have people just instantly hating every single MCU film that comes out. Like, oh yeah, by the way, this is an MCU film I forgot to talk about, and that's Thor: Love and Thunder. Yeah, that film gets way too much toxic hate. And yeah, there's some other MCU films I want to talk about. Yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder has a lot of toxic hate. It's just annoying, and yeah, I mean it's not the best MCU film. In fact, it's the weakest MCU film for movie for now. But I still think Thor: Love and Thunder was fun. Black Widow and Eternals are also like great girl power MCU films that gets way too much hate, especially Eternals, which Eternals is the most underrated superhero film I have ever seen. Period. Like, out of all the MCU films, Eternals is the one to get the panned by critics. Like, why didn't Iron Man 2 and Thor: The Dark World or even Captain Marvel get panned by critics? Like, that's doesn't make sense. But yeah, sorry to see that I'll destroy it. I actually didn't write a script for this, but I just really wanted to do this out of like everything that comes to my mind. But yeah, yeah, that's all for it. Likewise, and yeah, Phase 5 is gonna start excellently with probably my most anticipated MCU show, Secret Invasion, and yeah, I mean I'm excited for that one. I'm oh wait no, my bad. It starts with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which I think I already know is gonna be the best Ant-Man film, even though I'm not excited for MODOK based on his design, but I'm excited to see Cassie Lang, new Cassie Lang, and Kate Bishop's cameo, especially finally we get to see Kate Bishop on the big screen. Um, and Guardians 3, I think Guardians 3 will get rave. I don't think Guardians 3 will be divisive at all. Despite what people say about Guardians 2, I think Guardians 3 could be one of the more loved MCU films, and I'm a little worried about what people will say about Thunderbolts, but I do hope Thunderbolts, considering it's my most anticipated MCU Phase 5 project, I hope that film gets loved, and yeah. And Daredevil Born Again, I just hope it's actually TVMA so that people won't give it backlash. And Marvel Zombies is my most anticipated MCU show. Sorry, like my bad about Secret Invasion. But I'm hyped for Marvel Zombies, and it might be my could it be my new favorite MCU show, topping South Park? Well, it does have potential. So like what I was saying, there's actually still room for potential for the future MCU. I mean, we got Fantastic Four, which I'm not really as hyped for as everyone else is, but I still think I already know it's gonna be the best MCU. I mean the best Fantastic Four film ever made, and hopefully it's a masterpiece. I just hope, and also especially the two Avengers films in Phase 6. So yeah, there's room for people to actually have that the MCU fanboy back that we had, but it just baffles that you know like the MCU fan, the spark of the MCU like fan is all gone, like, and people just take MCU Phase 4 way too seriously and call it the MCU. I mean, I kind of like that title, but that name, but people use it as an insult and it's just annoying. But yeah, I hope you guys actually give Black Panther Wakanda Forever a chance, so there could actually be another MCU Phase 4 film that people go positive towards. Yeah. So yeah, that's all for my defense video on the MCU or MCU Phase 4. Do you agree with me that MCU Phase 4 is underrated? And oh yeah, and who agrees MCU Phase 4 is the best MCU phase yet? Because it's actually my favorite MCU era yet. But well, let's see if Phase 5 is can top it. So yeah, comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for my review. Stay tuned for my review on Day Shift and my review of the Lord of the Rings trilogy leading up to Rings of Power. Bye guys.